What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including: did WWE fool the world? Triple H unhappy with the dirt sheets? Is The Rock returning tonight? A wrestler unbanned by WWE? LA Knight furious with WWE? Stephanie McMahon retires? And much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new videos on Wrestlelamia XL. Now to the intro and get straight into our first story. Did WWE fool the world? Now, our top story today takes a look at the behind-the-scenes information relating to Seth Rollins' Money in the Bank cash-in. Rollins shocked the world last night by cashing in following CM Punk's victory over Gunther. Rollins was apparently injured, but in a surprise twist, the entire injury was a complete ruse, and Rollins was able to cash in on Punk to once again become world champion. But fans want answers, as they want to know how much of Rollins' knee injury was actually a work, and they're wondering whether Rollins was ever legitimately hurt. According to a new report from Fightful Select, this was a rare case of WWE treating the situation as totally legitimate, and they decided to work virtually everyone backstage. Seth Rollins vs LA Knight was ended abruptly due to what looked like an injury a few weeks ago, in a match that everyone in the know backstage were told that Rollins was slated to win. Upon returning backstage, everyone, including many medics and producers, were treating the situation as real. It was kept so close to the vest that even some close to him were concerned when they hadn't immediately heard back from him. The next night, Rollins showed up at WWE Evolution on crutches, which WWE knew would make its way out. The report would add, it's not even known if Rollins ever had any degree of injury, but by the time that Rollins made a public appearance on the Rich Eisen show, those in WWE began to believe it was a work. Additionally, the report indicates that the plan for Rollins to cash in was put in place before his match with LA Knight, but even still, it was kept extremely quiet backstage and wasn't included in any rundowns for the show. WWE went to such great lengths to work everyone that Rollins even showed up at his wrestling school in a knee brace, which in turn worked all of his trainees. Becky Lynch was also in on the ruse, as she would post social media content of her husband on crutches. The WWE have evidently gone to great lengths to keep this entire angle under wraps. Sadly, this grand plan did leak online just days after Saturday night's main event, as outlets such as Post Wrestling and the Wrestling Observer reported what WWE had planned. Yeah, Dave was right for a change. Nevertheless, for those fans who don't religiously follow the dirt sheets or keep up with social media scoops, then it would have been a major surprise. WWE working staff backstage is rather new, and it's likely that they wanted to do everything they could to avoid the story plans leaking out. Interestingly, it was also reported by various outlets that the WWE Unreal crew were backstage filming, so this new series focusing on WWE working their own staff could be a unique concept to say the very least. Next up, Seth Rollins' faction has a new name. Now at last, it looks like Seth Rollins' faction finally has a name. This weekend, WWE filed to trademark the Vision, and due to the name being linked to Rollins, it now has been speculated that this could be the official name of Rollins' faction. But Triple H is unhappy with dirt sheets. Now, Triple H often likes to poke fun at dirt sheets, and after SummerSlam was no exception. The Game was not a fan of the bogus medical reports that surfaced relating to Seth Rollins, and he would state that WWE will deal with it down the line. Seth Rollins is playing chess while everybody is playing checkers, and he comes out, goes through none of it, and takes the World Heavyweight Championship. My hat's off to Seth Rollins, that's a smart way to do business. Not thrilled about bogus medical reports, but we'll deal with that down the line. Now, it's unclear what exactly the head of creative means by this comment, but he's likely unhappy with dirt sheets delivering fake reports related to the product. Next up, is The Rock returning tonight? Now, there's rampant speculation that the final boss, The Rock, could be returning tonight at SummerSlam. With John Cena seemingly turning babyface out of nowhere, fans believe that this is either a total swerve or Cody Rhodes is now turning heel. Fans are convinced that The Rock will play a factor in the match finish, especially with Cena directly calling him out on SmackDown this week. Sean Ross Sapp noted on Fightful Select that people in the company haven't been told of any indication that the final boss is planned for the show. However, this doesn't mean it hasn't been kept top secret. It's also worth noting that during Fightful's report relating to Seth Rollins, it was stated that WWE are keeping any creative plans for Night 2 on lockdown, which is potentially a sign that surprises are indeed planned. Next up, Cody Rhodes addresses The Rock's absence. Speaking of The Rock, Cody Rhodes has finally addressed The Rock's absence from WWE programming. Speaking to Gabby AF, Rhodes would state that The Rock is busy in Hollywood, but he notes that The Rock is always there due to his board of directors role in the company. I consider him always there just because he truly is on the board and a big part of our world, a massive part of our world. But I mean, right now, with what he's doing, I think people need to let him have his moment and not rush him. He's working with Scorsese, doing the smashing machine. He's really going for it. And as a wrestler, whether you love him or hate him, you gotta respect that. Time will tell if The Rock shows up on TV anytime soon, but Rhodes is in the right sense that with The Rock being on the board of directors, he remains an integral part of WWE. Next up, Triple H teases an epic Night 2. The WWE is a truly stacked card for Night 2 of SummerSlam tonight, and according to Triple H, fans haven't seen anything yet. Speaking on the post-show last night, the game would address the crowd directly by stating, "We still got tomorrow, and I'll tell you this, anybody that didn't come tonight, anybody that's coming tomorrow or thinking about coming tomorrow, you ain't seen nothing yet." Now what could this mean? What could WWE have in store? Returns, surprises, a shock title change? SummerSlam Night 2 certainly has a potential to be the show for the ages. Then again, with Triple H saying you ain't seen nothing yet, he normally says this after every PLE. Next up, Jelly Roll wrestling again. Jelly Roll impressed fans and critics alike with his performance last night at SummerSlam, and specific praise was offered to Roll for taking huge bumps and taking a loss, which is a rarity for celebrities when they get involved in pro wrestling. But now Triple H has addressed Jelly's future, and according to the head of creative on the post-show for SummerSlam, Jelly wants to do more matches, and it looks like he'll be returning in the foreseeable future. I don't think I can stop him from coming back. He's already talked to me about coming back. He's already talked to me about doing more. We'll see when the time is right. And you know, when you have that level of respect for people, then you want to see them be able to have that opportunity again. So we'll be talking and we'll see what he can do. And I'm sure he's got some payback coming for Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre, so we'll see. Now, it's reported on the road to SummerSlam that Jelly has relocated to Florida to train for the match, and it's likely that fans will be open to more matches from Jelly Roll, especially after his performance last night. However, let's hope it's not a singles match. The tag match at the beginning was already slow enough. Next up is KROSS leaving WWE. Following SummerSlam Night 1, there is increased speculation that KROSS is out the door. Kross's WWE deal is set to expire at some point this month, and with him losing to Sami Zayn, some fans on social media are now speculating that this is the end of the road for him. And whilst nothing official has been confirmed, there are signs that Kross may have re-signed. On the pre-show before SummerSlam, WWE were actively promoting Kross's book, and they had a portion scripted into the show to talk about the book release. If Kross was leaving, why would they promote him in this manner? WWE fans have also pointed out that Kross still looks somewhat credible in the match with Zayn, and it wouldn't be too much of a surprise to see WWE totally bury Kross if he had agreed to part ways with the company. Next up, a wrestler is now unbanned from WWE. Now, it was reported this week that Brie Bella is in essence banned from WWE. This is due to Bryan Danielson being a contracted AEW talent, and this reportedly puts WWE in a difficult position due to Brie and Bryan being married. However, it now appears that WWE have realized how ridiculous this is. According to Brie on her podcast, she's going to be in attendance for SummerSlam this weekend, which means that the ban has been lifted. Her sister Nikki appeared on camera last night, so you never know, Brie could potentially make a small cameo in some capacity tonight. Next up, LA Knight furious with WWE. The booking of LA Knight recently has been really confusing. LA secured a huge win over Seth Rollins at Saturday night's main event, but then wasn't booked to appear on either night of SummerSlam in any featured match. It was reported that the initial plans were for Rollins to win at Saturday night's main event, and then the two would potentially run it back at SummerSlam, with Knight getting the biggest win of his career. LA Knight is obviously frustrated with his recent booking, and he's letting his feelings be known, as this weekend, LA would like an Instagram comment stating that WWE should put him in the main event picture, or just release him. Now, LA Knight is completely justified here, as one of the most popular stars on the entire roster not being used just makes zero sense. LA picked up such a huge win at Saturday night's main event, and not following this up with anything substantial was hugely disappointing. Fans on social media questioning if LA is now #1 contender for the world title, but it's entirely possible that WWE and Triple H just dropped the LA and Rollins rivalry to focus on the issues between CM Punk and Rollins instead. The former WWE US champion is a name that's been consistently over for years, and LA Knight has stepped up massively in huge matches. Triple H said publicly a number of years ago that LA Knight's big moment will eventually come, but that's never really materialized, and LA seems destined to be cemented in the mid-card picture for the duration of his WWE tenure. There's even been speculation, mainly from fans, that the game isn't the biggest fan of LA's work, and based on his presentation, especially over the past year, that wouldn't come as too much of a surprise. Next up, CM Punk sets a new record for the shortest reign. Now, after one of the most grueling matches of the year, CM Punk managed to defeat Gunther and finally win the World Heavyweight Championship, something he hadn't won since 2009. However, the reign would be very short-lived, so short-lived in fact that CM Punk now holds the shortest reign of the title. It's now been official that Punk held the World Heavyweight Championship for 5 minutes and 9 seconds. And funny enough, this is now shorter than Drew McIntyre's reign of 5 minutes and 46 seconds. Now obviously it didn't take long for Drew McIntyre to boast about Punk's loss, as during a backstage interview with Kathy Kelly on the SummerSlam post-show, he mentioned, "Karma is a hell of a thing. I've been watching what's going on with Raw and Seth. Seth and I are professional rivals, not like Punk and I." He also mentioned Seth has done exactly to Punk what Punk did to me, referencing the time that Punk screwed over Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania 40. He ended the interview by saying, "Tonight was the cherry on the top. Congratulations, Seth, you deserve it. And karma is indeed a bitch." And finally, Stephanie McMahon retires. Our final story today takes a look at the in-ring status of Stephanie McMahon, as last night she confirmed if she plans on wrestling again. McMahon appeared on the pre-show for SummerSlam last night, and the former WWE Women's Champion was asked outright if she plans on ever wrestling again. But McMahon would simply state that she can't hang with the current women's roster, and she has no plans whatsoever to step foot in the squared circle. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.